before we bring Spencer up, I want to hear a little bit about your trip because I haven't seen you for 4 days. And
I went to San Francisco and Chicago since the last time we talked about anything. San Francisco, I thought there was an interesting thing. I don't know if podcast listeners, some of you maybe are in San Francisco. There's a guy on the outside the Ferry Building. He's a very old, like very Morgan Freeman-y black gentleman. He's wearing an old kind of like suit, like it's his only suit. Kind of, you can sense that he gets up in the morning and puts on his one suit. He gives you a very Morgan Freeman vibe.
What do you mean specifically by a Morgan Freeman?
Well, you want him to tell you how to golf or play the clarinet or
how to
use the
from
force
prison.
or be a librarian or love a woman. You want him to
you want a mystical black friend.
Yeah, he exudes that air. He's ancient and he's got a big smile on his face and he's holding a clarinet. And he's got the clarinet case with a recyclable bag in it for tips, and he's got a hat on. And when I walked up to him, Aaron was going to the bathroom. The bathroom line was so long that I got to kind of study this guy for a while. So if you walk past him, all you see is it's a master of clarinet sitting literally on the dock of the bay, hanging out,
watching the tide roll away.
And my God, I wish I was a better person. I wish I had more appreciation for whatever jazzy arts he could impart to me. I was waiting for Aaron so long that I kind of stood behind him and watched what was really happening. He's really just he knows as much clarinet as I do. Like because he kept doing this thing. It was like an SNL sketch. Like he was continually like rereading his clarinet like while he was talking to people. He would like shout out to people and then they'd stop and talk to him, and then he was just continually in preparation to play the clarinet. And when I walked up to him, when I was arrived at him, it was at the end of an encounter that he was having for like seemingly hours with this old white couple that were like, oh no, we gotta go. Sorry, we never got to hear you play, but here's $5. And he's like, no, take care of her. I wouldn't want to. And then this other weird encounter happened where a guy walked by. It's like an 80-year-old guy with a 50-year-old woman, and the clarinet guy said, how's it going out here? He would just shout stuff out at random people. He shouted several things out at me, but I'm Generation X, so I just go, huh, and look at a bird. But like old white people would stop and go like, well, just the weather and the knees and the kneecaps. Like they would have this old person language with the like Truman never got Dewey. And they would engage each other. It was like ants, like a specific species would like get into it, and so that happened. It looked like he snagged another like old guy who was like this 50-year-old white woman, and the old white guy, and the old white guy said, "Well, this is my daughter," and he said, I go so I thought that was your wife. And then the old guy said, what, you wish me to have a heart attack? Well, a woman this age, that's a good way to wish me to get a heart attack. Fucking my daughter.
That's 22% of deaths over the age of 75.
And then he kept walking away, and then the clarinet guy said, like, he waited. He was like, it was like a block away. The guy, like, there's no way he was going to hear him, but he kind of like the gears ground, and he kind of heard him, and then he thought of something to say to him. I bet you wish sometimes she was your wife, though. And then he finally, after
he played String of Pearls.
The 30 minutes that it took Aaron to go to the bathroom of this place because the line was so long, I finally saw this guy finally put this thing to his lips, because I think part of the thing is, he needs to at some point create a seam of like illusion that like he just finished or just started playing clarinet. Always just finished. Big. So I was in his blind side, like I was standing behind him, like flanking him and just watching him. And so he put the clarinet to his lips, and I was like, okay, here we go. Like blow my mind or confirm what I suspect. And he went, like
That's Artie Shaw.
Scales, I think he was doing, but worse because he hadn't seen Sound of Music. And then put his prop back down, and then just started shouting out everybody up here. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody, but I thought it was very interesting.